Hello, smart minds. Welcome to grade 6, chapter 2, and I'm your trainer Anjana. We are going to start with chapter 2, that's whole numbers. So, before we start, let's quickly have a warm up. You have to fill in the blanks over here. So, the first one is what are you going to add to 50 so that you get the sum 20 plus 50? Yes, the missing number 20 comes here, and this is commutative property of addition. You have studied it in the previous class. 10 plus 0 is 10. Very nice. And what will you add to 67 to get 68? Perfect. That's 1. And here what will you do? You'll see what numbers are there on the left and which is the missing number in the right. Beautifully answered so promptly. This is 15. And over here, yes, good going. It says 5. And what will you add in 55 to get 55? A big 0. And here, this is associative property of addition. The missing number here is when you regroup the number while adding. Yes, that's 3. And can you help me to get the answer here? See, 60 plus 40 is 100. What will you add in 100 here? And look on the right side, the missing number is 120 here and 60 here. Got it? So what will you check? The number which is on the left and not on the right will come on the right, and the same thing happens other way around. Now we come to talk about what are natural numbers. क्या होते हैं natural numbers? Natural numbers are counting numbers. और counting कहाँ से start करते हैं आप? 1 से. So all numbers starting from 1, 2, 3 and it doesn't stop. चलती रहेगी गाड़ी आपकी. Yes, they are called natural numbers. And whole numbers are the numbers which start with 0. Yes. So 0, 1, 2, 3. That means 0 with all natural numbers makes a complete set of whole numbers. So what do we observe? We observe every natural number is a whole number. But every whole number is not a natural number because there is a number 0 जो natural number नहीं होता. सारे natural number whole number होंगे but सब whole number natural number नहीं कहलाए जाएंगे. So I have made a note that we cannot find the largest natural and whole number. कभी भी हम largest natural और whole number पता ही नहीं लगा सकते क्योंकि हर number के बाद +1 किया और नेक्स्ट नंबर आ गया और ये प्रोसेस चलता जाएगा एंडलेसली. यस, एंड 0 इज द स्मॉलेस्ट होल नंबर. 0 से छोटा कोई होल नंबर नहीं होता और 1 से छोटा कोई भी नेचुरल नंबर नहीं होता. एवरी टाइम रिमेंबर दैट ऑल नेचुरल नंबर्स आर होल नंबर्स बट ऑल होल नंबर्स आर नॉट नेचुरल नंबर्स. Now we'll talk about the successor of whole number. Successor का मतलब होता है next number क्या है. तो जो नंबर आपको दिया है उसमें हमने +1 ऐड किया और हमें successor मिल गया, right? So successor of 0 is 1, successor of 2 is 3. Let's take bigger number. 5000 का successor क्या होगा? 5000 plus 1, that is 5001. And we do not stop anywhere. Now we talk about the predecessor of a whole number. तो predecessor क्या होता है? एक number छोटा. To get a predecessor, we always subtract one number from the given number. And every time remember, there is a number 0 जिसमें से हम -1 कर ही नहीं सकते. And so there is a number 0 which does not have a predecessor. Got it? So we say every whole number other than 0 has a predecessor. Got it? Now we have to write the successor and predecessor of the given numbers. So we have a number 9999. When you add 1 to it, we get 10,000. And this is a successor. And if you take away 1 from it, when you subtract 1 from it, we get 9998. So this is a predecessor of 9999. Then next number is 20,001. Successor will be 20,002 and the predecessor will be 20,000. Very you take away 1 from it, you are left with 20,000. Got it? Now we have an exercise here. Next 3 whole numbers after 60,809. So when you add 1 to it, you get 60,810, 60,811 and 60,812. हर बार +1 करते जाएंगे. Yes. And next is write 3 whole numbers occurring just before. जब just before आता है मतलब एक नंबर पहले फिर एक नंबर पहले, तो इससे पहले क्या नंबर आएगा? This is 10,001, तो हमने लिखा 10,000 और 10,000 से छोटा नंबर होगा 9,999 and one more less will be 9,998. Got it? Next question. How many whole numbers are there between 1082 and 1209? क्या करेंगे? इसके बीच के नंबर्स निकालने हैं, तो इसमें से इसको माइनस करेंगे और हमें पता चल जाएगा कितने नंबर्स इन दोनों के बीच में एग्जिस्ट कर रहे हैं. राइट? एंड विच इज द स्मॉलेस्ट होल नंबर? बिग जीरो. गॉट इट? नाउ यू हैव टू राइट द सक्सेसर. क्या करना है सक्सेसर निकालने के लिए? हर नंबर में +1 करना है. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, प्रेडिसेसर. परफेक्टली सेड. हर क्वेश्चन में -1 करेंगे. ओके, write down 3 consecutive whole numbers just preceding. Now this is 7,51,001. preceding मतलब पहले, तो इससे पहले हमारे पास आएगा 7,51,000 and 7,51,000 से पहले आएगा 7,50,999 and then 7,50,998. तो ये हमें 3 numbers मिल गए जो इससे just पहले हैं. Now we come to a new topic, that's operation on whole numbers. So children, we already have learned the 4 mathematical operations. कौन से हैं वो 4 operations? Addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So here we will be learning about the properties of whole numbers on these operations. We start with properties of addition. The first property is closure property. तो closure property का क्या मीनिंग होता है कि अगर हमारे पास 2 whole numbers हैं A and B and अगर हमने उनको add किया तो result भी whole number ही होगा. Let's try. We are taking these 2 whole numbers, we add it and this is a whole number. 14 plus 28 add करके 42 आया whole number and it applies for every number. Got it? So sum of any 2 whole number is a whole number. Coming to commutative property. Now we come to next property, that is commutative property. So this is commutative law where if A and B are any 2 natural whole numbers, then if you add A plus B or you add B plus A, you get the same answer. That means if you change the order, the result remains same. So take a pair of whole numbers and then we add it with 2 different ways. And what do you see? We get the same answer. So let's say we are taking 8 and 11. First time I'm adding 8 plus 11, we get 19. Next time we add 11 plus 8. Again we get the same answer, that's 19. So commutative law is true for addition of whole numbers. Then we come to third law, that is additive property of 0. So if we have A as a whole number and we add 0 to it, so we write A plus 0 or 0 plus A. In both the cases we get A as the result. We have taken a number 235 plus 0, you get 235, or you add 0 plus 235, again the same number, and it is applicable with every whole number, right? Coming to the next one, that is associative law of addition. So here we are taking 3 numbers A, B and C. If A, B, C and are 3 numbers, whole numbers, then A plus B is first added and then we add C to it. Or another way is first we add B plus C and the result is added to A. Then in both the cases, the answer is same. The sum is same. Got it? So let's take three whole numbers here, 8, 10 and 15. First time I am adding 8 and 10 and then we add 15 to it. We get 33. And next time we are first adding 10 and 15. We get 25 and adding 8 to it gives you 33. So in both the cases, the result is same. That's called associative property of addition. Now, remember one important thing, that while adding three or more numbers, we group them in such a way that the calculation becomes easier, and that's called arranging suitably and adding. So let's take the example here. We have 510 plus 287 and we are adding 413 to it. So just look at the last digit. This 7 plus 3 is 10, right? So we are first adding these two numbers. It becomes 700. Now adding 700 to 510 is more easier and we promptly get the answer 1210. So that is the benefit of rearranging the numbers, and we can promptly get correct answer and very easily as well. Look at another example. Find the sum of each of the following by suitable arrangement. So very interesting question. It seems very difficult. You are adding 21, 22, 23 and then we have 75, 76, 77, 78 and 79. But the very interesting thing is if you add 79 and 21, it becomes 100. Similarly, 78 and 22 together makes 100, right? We are regrouping them. I'm bringing this 21 and 79 together, 22 and 78, then 23 and 77, then we have 24 and 76 and 25 and 75. So this is 100, another 100, another 100, another 100 and one more 100 comes here. And very simply you come with the answer that yes, it is 500, right? And over here we have another series of number. So what we are doing, if I am adding 1089 with 11, it becomes 1100. Similarly, 1088 is added to 12, another 1100. Another rearrangement is 13 plus 1087, 14 plus 1086 and 15 plus 1085. So we get 1100 added 5 times and promptly you come with the answer, yes, this is 5500. Got it? Now we come to magic square. So what is a magic square? It is the arrangement of different numbers in the forms of square. This is a square, and where we could see that every horizontal line, every vertical line and even every diagonal sum up with the same answer. So if you could look at very carefully, we look at the first row. 9 plus 2 is 11, 11 plus 7 is 18. Another is 4 plus 6 is 10 and 10 plus 8 is 18. And similarly, the last row also, it makes 18. And not only rows, if you add the diagonals, see, again we are getting the sum of 18, and adding the columns also makes the sum of 18, right? So this is called a magic square. Got it? Now we have our exercise. We'll be applying all the properties that we have learned about addition and we'll be solving the sums. So quickly tell me the missing number here. It is 458. Good one. And over here, it's 984. Can you give me the missing number here? See, this number is already there. This is already there. So we'll be writing 799. And what over here? It's 864. Beautiful. And if 0 is added to the number, you get the same number, right? So we write down 8063. Now next question is, add the following numbers and check by reversing the order of addends. So we'll be first adding the numbers and then we'll be reversing the addend. That means we'll be adding 106 with this 11,214. So either it is 106 plus 11,214, and both the cases will give you the same answer. Got it? Then coming to the next question, find the sum first, add this bracket, and in this bracket we will be adding 3,589. And next time what we are doing, we are adding last two numbers. So this is associative property of addition, and after adding these two numbers, we'll be adding 1,546 to it. So in both the cases, we observe the sum is equal. And which is that property? That property is associative property of addition of whole numbers. Got it? Next question is determine each of the sum given below by suitable rearrangement. So in the suitable rearrangement, we'll try to make the combinations where the sum is equal to the last digit adds up to 10. So if you just look at 953 and 647, so you can immediately come up with the answer. This is 1,600, right? Write down 1,600 and then add 707 to it, right? It becomes 2,307. This becomes your answer. Now look at the second part. Here, if we bring together these two digits and these two numbers together, right? We are adding these two numbers together because the last digit is 3 and 7, that adds up to 10, and 4 and 6 also adds up to 10. Got it? And that will make your sum easy and quick to calculate. Here, what will you do? You are bringing this last digit. Just focus on the last digit. 9 and 1 makes 10. So these two numbers will be brought together and these two numbers will be brought together. Oh, E part, very interesting. 99 plus 1, this will be the first set. 98 plus 2, another set. 97 plus 3, another set. And 96 plus 4. Fourth set is there and the total immediately becomes 400. Got it? Then we have next question, find the sum by short method. So let's write down 6,784 and you have to add 9,999. Instead of adding 9,999, let's add 10,000 to it, right? And we take away 1 from it. So when you add 10,000 to it, it becomes 16,784 minus 1, which results as 16,783. This is your answer. This is called the short method. Here, same thing you are going to do. This is 99,999. So instead of 99,000, we are going to write it as 1 lakh minus 1. Okay. So it could be written as 50,513 plus, we'll put 1 lakh minus 1. So we'll add these two numbers. This becomes 1 lakh 50,513 minus 1, which comes out as 1 lakh 50,512. Understood? This is how we get the answer. Look at next question. For any whole number ABC, is it true that A plus B plus C is equal to A plus C plus B? Yes, because we could see that if the last two numbers are added, it shows we are working on associative property of addition, right? So this is true for addition. Come at seventh question, write true for T for true and F for false in each of the following statements. The sum of two odd numbers is an odd number. No, it's not true, because if you add two odd numbers, we always get an even number. So this is a false statement. And sum of two even numbers is an even number. This one is true. The sum of an even number and odd number is a odd number. Yes, that's also a true statement. Suppose I take 2 and 3. When you add 2 and 3, you get 5, which is a odd number. Now we come at subtraction of whole numbers. So the operation of subtraction is inverse process of addition. So here, if I say that we are adding 14 and 9 to give 23, if I take away 9 from 23, I get 14. And if I take away 14 from 23, I get 9. So this subtraction is inverse process of addition. We'll be learning about the properties of subtraction. The first one is if we have A and B as whole numbers and A is greater than B. This is very important thing to be remember. Either A is greater than B or A is equal to B, then A minus B is a whole number. Otherwise, A minus B is not possible in case of whole numbers. Got it? So I'll give you the example. Here A and B are equal. I get 0, which is a whole number, right? And in the same way, if A is bigger than B, so 16 minus 9 is again a whole number. Again here, this is bigger than this. I get whole numbers, right? But if I try to subtract 18 from 13, that's not possible. So we do not get a whole number in that case. Understood? So this much is clear to you, and we move further and we come at the next property. So if we have A, B, C, there are 3 whole numbers, then in general A minus B minus C is not equal to A minus the difference of B minus C. Let's try it with these 3 whole numbers. So first thing we are doing is 8 minus 4, that becomes 4, and 4 minus 2 is 2. Next time I'm first taking away 2 from 4, that's 2, and then 8 minus 2 is 6. So both values are not equal. Now, if A, B, C are whole numbers such that A minus B is C, then B plus C is equal to A. Let's take the example. 16 minus 9 is 7. That means if I add 9 and 7, it gives you 16. Similarly here, I have 23 minus 8, which is 15. So if I add 15 plus 8, it will give you 23. Based on this, we come on more observation patterns. See, this is 456 minus 99. So instead of taking away 99, we first take away 100 and add 1 to it. Got it? So this makes your calculation more easy. Further, if I take away 999, instead of taking away 999, it's more easy to take away 1000 and then add 1 to it. So this makes your calculation more easy, and it will be this one is added to it. Got it? So your result is more easy. Got it? Now here we come to exercise 2.3, and in this exercise we have to perform the subtraction and check the result of the corresponding additions. So if you take away a number, you find a difference. अब जो difference निकलेगा, उस difference को अगर हमने 534 में add किया, तो आपको ये first number मिलेगा. This is what you have to do. Let's try doing it. हमने लिखा 8,243 and we are subtracting 534. So 13 minus 4 is 9, 3 minus 3 is 0, and this becomes 7 because 12 minus 5 is 7 and 7, right? यहाँ हमने difference निकाला. अब इस difference को और 534 को add करते हैं. कैसे? We are going to write down. Cancel. We are going to write down 7,709 and we add 534. So 9 plus 4 is 13. We write 3 here and this becomes 4. Here we get 12 and C. वही number आया जो हमारा starting number था. So this is called checking the result by corresponding addition. So this is your verification and checking. हमने यहाँ check किया कि क्या हमारा जो difference आया था वो ठीक आया या नहीं आया, right? अब हम आते हैं replace each asterisk by correct digit in the following. तो हमने difference निकालना है इस question में. 8 में से कुछ माइनस करके 9 आ सकता है? नहीं आ सकता. डोंट वरी, हम यहाँ से बोरो लेंगे. 18 में से क्या माइनस करेंगे कि 9 आएगा? सो वी गेट 9 हियर. यहाँ बचा 1. 1 में से 5 सब्ट्रैक्ट नहीं हो सकता. क्या करेंगे? यहाँ से बोरो करेंगे और यहाँ बचेगा 7 और ये बना 11, राइट? अब 11 में से 5 सब्ट्रैक्ट किया तो यहाँ पर बचा 6, हमने इस स्टार की जगह लिखा 6, और 7 में से क्या सब्ट्रैक्ट करेंगे कि 4 आएगा? यस, वेरी गुड, वी गेट 3 हियर। एक और क्वेश्चन ट्राई करते हैं, डोंट वरी। 2 में से 9 माइनस हो सकता है? नहीं हो सकता, इसको बनाया 12 और ये बन गया 6। 12 में से 9 माइनस किया, व्हाट इज लेफ्ट विद यू? 3, and 6 minus 6 is 0, we get 0 here। अब 1 में से 9 सब्ट्रैक्ट नहीं हो सकता, तो हमने यहाँ से बोरो लिया और ये बना 11, एंड 11 में से क्या सब्ट्रैक्ट करेंगे कि 9 आएगा? यस, गुड, वी गेट 2 here। और 5 में से क्या सब्ट्रैक्ट करेंगे कि 2 आएगा? यहाँ पर आएगा 3। नाउ ट्राई these questions yourself, okay? The next question is find the difference that you will be doing. Read question number 4. Find the difference between the smallest number of 5 digit and largest number of 4 digit. Largest 4 digit number क्या होता है? 9999, and smallest 5 digit number is 10,000, right? हमने इन दोनों का difference निकालना है and we get the answer 1. Got it? Read next question. Ravi opened his account in the bank और उसने deposit किया 1,56,000 rupees. Next day उसने 73,129 rupees बैंक से withdraw किया from the bank. So how much money is left? बेटा जब लेफ्ट वर्ड आ जाता है दैट मीन्स आप डिफरेंस निकालने वाले हैं, तो आप इसमें से 73,129 को सब्ट्रैक्ट करेंगे। Got it? Read the next question. Mrs. Saxena withdrew how much money? It is 1 lakh rupees from her bank account and she purchased, ये कॉस्ट है 18,750 टीवी सेट की, एंड 23,890 रुपीज का उसने रेफ्रिजरेटर परचेज किया, एंड ज्वेलरी वर्थ 55,560 rupees. Now the question is how much money is left with her. So first thing is जो money उन्होंने spend की मिसेस सक्सेना ने, हम उन तीनों को ज्वाइन करेंगे, ऐड करेंगे, ऐड करके हमें एक डिजिट मिलेगा, उस डिजिट को हम यहाँ पर सब्ट्रैक्ट करेंगे जो मनी उन्होंने विथड्रॉ की थी 1 लाख रुपीस में से। गॉट इट? नाउ नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन यू ट्राई योरसेल्फ। वी कम एट क्वेश्चन 8। फाइंड द होल नंबर n when n plus 4 is 19। नाउ यू हैव टू चेक कि हमने n क्या रखना है कि उसको ऐड करेंगे 4 में तो हमें आंसर 19 आएगा। इसमें हमने n को इधर रोका और ये जो +4 है इसको दूसरी साइड ले गए, 19 माइनस 4 कर दिया, राइट? और n की वैल्यू आ गई 15। तो रूल क्या होता है कि अगर आप किसी नंबर को दूसरी साइड लेकर जा रहे हैं, वो प्लस का नंबर है तो दूसरी साइड जाकर माइनस हो जाएगा, साइन चेंज हो जाएगा, और अगर वो माइनस नंबर है तो वो दूसरी साइड जाकर इक्वालिटी के वो नंबर प्लस हो जाएगा। एक और क्वेश्चन ट्राई करते हैं, ये वाला। n minus 18 is equal to 39। अब यहाँ -18 है जिसको हम इक्वालिटी के राइट साइड में लेके जाएंगे तो n की वैल्यू हो जाएगी 39 plus 18, right? And this becomes 57. So n becomes 57. That's your answer. Okay? And this way you can try the next question also. ये वैल्यू इधर जाकर ये दोनों numbers add हो जाएंगे and you will get the answer. Now we come to multiplication of whole numbers. Now let us consider 4 bundles. ये 4 bundles हैं and each bundle has 3 sticks. तो अगर आपको कोई बोलता है total कितनी sticks हैं, you are adding 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 and we get 12. इसको हम multiplication की फॉर्म में भी लिख सकते हैं, कैसे? 4 times 3 and we write it as 4 multiply 3 which is equal to 12. Take one more example. Here we have 6 packets of 5 balls each. तो हम इसको total balls निकालनी है तो 5 plus 5 हम 6 times plus करेंगे, we get 30. And another way to do it, 6 times 5 gives you 30. So what do we get? We get that multiplication is repeated addition. Got it? So this is repeated addition. Now, if the numbers are small, we can do the operation of multiplication very mentally, right? 5 times 6 is 30, 2 times 8 is 16, like this. But when we have large numbers, we multiply using the multiplication tables which you have learned in the earlier classes. Here we'll be talking about some of the properties of multiplication of whole number. The first property is closure property. So if we have A and B as two whole numbers, then their product A multiplied B C is also a whole number. I'll give you the example. Here 9 and 8 are whole numbers. So 9 multiplied 8 is 72. It's also a whole number. 12 and 7, two whole numbers. They are multiplied and the result is also a whole number. Then we come to next property, that is commutative law. So if we have two numbers A and B, and when you multiply them, even if their order changes, A multiply B will be equal to B multiply A. That means if the order changes, the number gives the same product. Let's try it. I have 7 and 5, two numbers. So what is 7 times 5? It is 35. And what is 5 times 7? Again, it is 35. Is it same? Yes. So same thing happens with bigger number also, and we get the same result. So we say commutative law holds true for multiplication of whole numbers. And then we come to multiplicative property of 0. So 0 is very powerful number. When you multiply any number with 0, you get a big 0, right? That means, let's try 9 multiply 0 is 0 and 0 multiply 9 is again a big 0. And this is applicable for all numbers. Coming to next property, that is multiplicative property of 1. So 1 is such a number, we call it multiplicative identity. That means if you multiply any whole number A with 1, the result remains same. So 1 multiply A or A multiply 1 gives you A. Let's try it with different numbers. What is 8 multiply 1? Yes, that's 8. And 1 multiply 8 is also 8. Similarly, if you go for bigger numbers, the same thing is applicable. Next property we'll learn is associative law. So if A, B and C are any three whole numbers, then A multiply B multiply C will be equal to B multiply C and then multiplied by A. I've taken three numbers 9, 7 and 10. We'll first multiply 9 and 7. That becomes 63. Then we multiply it with 10. We get 630. And next time, you know what I did? I first multiplied 7 and 10. That makes 70. And this 70 multiplied by 9 gives you the same result. That is 630. So in both the cases, we get the same answer. One more property we have, that is distributive law of multiplication over addition and distributive law of multiplication over subtraction. So if we have three numbers A, B and C, then A multiply B plus C is equal to A multiply B plus A multiply C. And the same thing happens with subtraction. If we have A multiply B minus C, it will be same as A multiply B minus A multiply C. And we have proved it over here. So if I take A as 16, B and C are 9 and 8 respectively, we are first adding 9 plus 8. We get 16 multiply 17, which is equal to 272. And next time I multiplied this 16 with 9, I get 144. Then 16 with 8, I get 128. And see what happens on adding, we get the same answer, that's 272, right? And the same thing is applicable with subtraction also. So I have taken 11, 6 and 4. We have taken these three whole numbers. First time I find the difference of 6 and 4, which is 2. So 2 times 11 is 22. And next time I first multiplied 11 with 6, which is 66, minus 11 times 4 is 44. Wow, the same answer, 22. Got it? Very interesting fact. Now we are going to do some examples based on multiplication of whole numbers. So here we go. We have 197 multiplied by 74. So what will you do? We'll break this 74 as 70 plus 4 and we apply the distributive law, which makes your calculation quite easy, right? And in order to multiply 197 with 74, we have another rule also, which we have learned in earlier classes. So we observe in both the cases, we get the same answer, isn't it? Now come over here. We have the question, find the product after suitable rearrangement. So suitable rearrangement means we are switching the numbers from one place to another so that the multiplication really becomes easy. Here, look at the number. We know 25 times 4 is 100. We bring them together and then 1683 multiply 100. Wow, it's really so cool and easy to calculate, isn't it? Now we move ahead. We have 8 multiply 125. So 8 multiply 125 is 1000, right? We write down 1000, multiply by 1256. And again, we have to just put 3 zeros and the job is done. Now taking next example, example number 8, we have to solve and find the result using distributive property. So how we'll do? 25 multiply 73. We'll break 73 as 70 plus 3. And one time we are going to multiply 25 with 70. Next time we are going to multiply 25 with 3. And that really makes your result getting easy. Yes. Next is 499 times 75. Now 499 can be written as 500 minus 1, isn't it? So we first multiply 75 with 500 and then we take away 75, multiply 1 and this becomes your answer. Now we have to multiply these two numbers using distributive property. How do we do it? We first multiply 2787 with 4. Next time we multiply it with 50 and next time we multiply it with 100, right? So this is how we break it. 2787 is multiplied by 100 first time, then 50 and then 4. That makes 154 and finally we get the desired answer. This is your desired answer. Got it? Now come to example 10. You have to find the value over here. So in this case, very important thing to observe is that we have 1063 common, right? So if we bring 1063 common, we are left with 127 minus 27, which is equal to 100, right? So we will simply get the answer as we put 2 zeros after 1063. Interesting. Look at the next one. Here we observe this 8937 is coming in all the three terms. So we bring out 8937. We are left with 648 plus 122 and plus 230. And to your surprise, it becomes 1000. And the result is so simple to calculate, isn't it? Take another one. We observe 4 multiplied 25 is 100. So 4 multiplied 250 becomes 1000. We write it as 1000 and 1000 multiplied by 2785 gives you the prompt answer. We simply write down 2785 followed by these 3 zeros. Got it? And then we have example 13. Find the product. So very simple thing, we'll multiply these two numbers and on multiplying we get 1000 and getting 1000 means just putting 3 zeros after the given number, howsoever long the number is, putting 3 zeros with it just gives you the result, isn't it? It's so fun and so simple. So now's the time to do the exercise based on what all we have learned. And here we go. So this is product of a whole number with 1. We get 142. And here what you get? We write the missing number, that is 593. This is commutative property. And again here we write the missing number. This is associative property, right? And this one we have 59 common. So we'll put 66 plus 34. This is distributive property of multiplication over addition. Got it? The remaining one, here when you multiply by 0, you get 0. And the missing number again comes here. And over here, what will you write? See, how many zeros are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here we see 1, 2, 3 zeros. So we put another 100 here. Got it? And this is distributive property of multiplication over subtraction. So when you want 95, 100 minus what number is 95? Perfectly answered. That's 5. We write 5 here. Got it? Now here you have to tell the property used in the following statements. So this is commutative property of multiplication of whole numbers. This one is we have 3 numbers. In this case, we say it is associative property of multiplication of whole numbers. And this one is property of 0. This one is distributive property of multiplication over subtraction. And this is distributive property of multiplication over addition. This is multiplicative identity, and we call this property as closure property of multiplication of whole numbers. Now, next question. Here you will take common 647, and in bracket you are left with 11 plus 9, right? Here also you will just bring this common, and in bracket you will get 94 plus 6, that's 100, right? So other parts I want you to try by your own. Then suitable rearrangement. We have done so many questions. We'll rearrange 50 and 2, it becomes 100. Here we'll rearrange 25 multiply 4, again it becomes 100. So we'll see the combination, which combination is giving you 10, 100 or 1000, and the rearrangement will be done based on it. Then we have find each of the following products using distributive law. So 105 here, we could write this 105 as 100 plus 5, yes. And we have 1008. What will you write it? Yes, that's 1000 plus 8. Wonderful. And 96 is 100 minus 4. Wonderful. And here we'll break this 996, which will be 1000 minus 4. Got it? And here we can break this as 1000 plus 90 plus 7. Okay? And this one could be again broken as 60 plus 4. So as per your convenience, you can break the number. This could be written as 1000 minus 2 and this as 200 minus 2. Beautiful. Now we'll be applying same laws and we'll be solving the question. Let's come to the word problems. The real life application is here. Find the product of largest 3-digit number. What is the largest 3-digit number? 999. Yes. And the largest 5-digit number is 99,999, and we'll write this 99,999 as 1 lakh minus 1, and that makes your sum quite easy, isn't it? Take the next one. A car moves at the uniform speed of 75 km per hour. How much distance will it cover in 98 hours? So in 1 hour it's covering 75 kilometers. You multiply the 75 by 98. And then you apply distributive property. You can write 100 minus 2 and make your calculation quite easy. Next one is a dealer purchased 139 VCRs and cost of 1 VCR is given as 24,350. You need to find the total cost. So these two numbers will be multiplied, right? Then we come to division of whole numbers. What is division, children? Like we talk about subtraction is inverse process of addition. Similarly, division is inverse process of multiplication. So if we have A and B as two whole numbers, dividing A by B means finding a whole number C such that B multiply C gives you A. And we can write A divided by B is equal to C. Got it? Now, if I write A divided by B equals C, it could be written like this, and B and C are multiplied, we get the result like this. A is equal to B multiplied by C. Understood? I'll give you the example. Dividing 48 by 8 is same as finding the whole number, which when multiplied by 8 gives you 48. So you know 8 6 times is 48, right? So 48 divided by 8 will give you 6. Similarly, if I say 63 divided by 9 is 7, that means 7 times 9 is 63. Understood? Now we talk about division algorithm. Suppose I take 75, it is divided by 9. Then we get a quotient 8 and still we have a remainder 3 because this 79 is not completely divisible by 9. So it could be written as 9 times 8 plus this remainder, and this remainder is 3 over here. So we represent that if A and B are any two whole numbers such that A is greater than B, on dividing A by B, suppose we have a number Q which is a quotient and R is a remainder, then the division algorithm becomes A is equal to B multiply quotient plus remainder. And every time remember one very important thing, remainder is always either greater than or equal to 0 and it should be less than the divisor B. Got it? So this is called your division algorithm. Now, what are even and odd whole numbers? So talking about the numbers which are divisible by 2. So that is 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. All these numbers are even numbers. And if you check for the bigger numbers, the numbers ending with 0, 2, 4, 6 and 8 are always even numbers. And the numbers which end with 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9 are called odd numbers. Understood? Now find the number which when divided by 53 gives 8 as a quotient and 5 as a remainder. So you know the remainder, you know the quotient, you know the divisor. And putting it in the division algorithm, we get the number. What is the dividend? That's equal to 429. Take another example. Divide 672 by 31. And now you're going to check the result also by division algorithm. We'll first divide. We get the quotient 21. We get the remainder 21, right? And then we multiply 31 with 21 and we add 21. We get the same number. That's 672. So we say our result is absolutely correct. Take another example. We will go for some bigger numbers and we'll apply the division algorithm here. So we have 53,068 to be divided by 257. On dividing, you get 206 as a quotient and 126 as a remainder. Now when you multiply the divisor and the quotient and you add 126 to it, see, we get the same number, isn't it? And so we say our result is absolutely correct. Now coming to properties of division. So first important thing is if A and B are non-zero whole numbers, then it's not sure every time that A divided by B is also a whole number. It may be a whole number, it may not be a whole number. If I take 7 divided by 2, it's not a whole number, right? Coming to division by 0. Any whole number is not divisible by 0 because A divided by 0 is undefined. And if A is a non-zero whole number, then 0 divided by A is always 0. So when you divide 0 by any whole number except 0, you every time get a result that is 0. Understood? Let's move to the exercise. I want you to explore and try this exercise by your own, and we come to the multiple choice question. The first one is, which is the largest whole number? Is there any end to the whole numbers? No. So it is undeterminable. And when you have to find the product, see, it's so simple. 4 times 25 is 100. So we will write 657 followed by 2 zeros. We get D part as the answer. And over here again, see how we apply the properties and we get the answer so promptly. 162 is common. We write 162 multiply by 162 minus 62, that's 100. So we will simply get the first option, 16,200, isn't it? And which is the smaller natural number? That's 1. And smallest even whole number. The number has to be even and it has to be whole number. So that has to be 0. Got it? And this completes your exercise. So stay tuned for the next video. Till then, goodbye.